Hi guys, my name is Tessa and we're going to be doing a yoga sequence for relaxation. So if you're feeling the need to relax, this is definitely the video for you. Let's go ahead and start seated. So you can come into a cross-legged position, just rock back and forth, feeling those hips a little bit, feeling rooted through the sit bones, lengthen through your spine. Go ahead and bring the arms overhead. And you can drop your right arm and just a nice side stretch. Feeling rooted through that left hip as you really lengthen through that side body, and feeling supported by your opposite hand so you don't fall over. And really reaching through those fingertips, and just notice your breath. And opposite side, nice long spine. Go ahead and drop that left hand and reaching through those right fingertips, feeling rooted through that right sit bone, not letting that right hip lift too much. Really stretching through those fingertips, enjoying that stretch in the hip and the low back. And coming back to center, nice long spine. Go ahead and drop your chin and just a few neck rolls with a long spine, not collapsing through the chest. So your own pace. Allow your shoulders to relax as you roll that head from side to side. Just stretching sides of the neck and long spine, feeling rooted through your sit bones. And coming into a different position on our mat, go ahead and position yourself for child's pose. So big toes together, knees wider than hip distance apart, and you can just let your hips rest towards your heels and just check in with your breathing here and allowing the breath to deepen. Enjoying that stretch for your low spine. You can bring your arms around you or leave them overhead. This is my favorite, overhead. And just breathing to that abdomen. Go ahead and walk your hands forward. Nice stretch for the spine, pressing those inner palms, rolling the shoulders back, feeling space in our neck. And go ahead and tuck your chin in a little bit, feeling length in the back of the neck. Coming into tabletop, syncing our breath with our movement. Inhale, go ahead and round the spine. And exhale, arch. Opening up the shoulders, opening up the chest. And rounding all the way from your tailbone through your neck. And same thing, opening the whole spine from the tailbone through the top of the neck. Moving slowly with the breath. And one more, your own pace. And child's pose again, big toes together, knees a little wider than hip distance. And just let those hips fall towards your heels. And checking in with our breath. The hips should be responding a little bit more and opening a little bit more as we revisit child's pose throughout our sequence. And this time, letting the hips feel a little heavier as we walk our hands forward, letting the spine feel a little bit longer. Pressing those inner palms noticing in greater detail just the length in between our vertebrae and our spine as we let those hips drop towards the heels. And walk the hands forward. And come on up. Coming into downward facing dog, you can spread the fingers wide and tuck the toes under, pressing those thighs back. Pressing those thighs back. If you feel like your hands are sliding a little bit, it could be your mat. It could also be that you're not engaging those thighs like you should be. So really pressing the thighs back, bringing those heels towards the mat. And you can walk it out, do whatever feels right. Engaging those thighs, lengthening that spine. Notice your breath. And back to child's pose. And this time we're going to open our knees a little bit wider. So you want your knees to be at least as wide as the edge of your mat, and you can just rest your head, letting those hips fall towards your heels, opening up the hips a little bit more. And deep breaths here. Really letting those hips sink towards the heels. Just scan your hips from left to right, seeing which one might feel a little tighter. And breathe into those spaces that feel tight. You can start to walk your hands forward, again letting your hips feel heavy as you press through your palms, especially your inner palm. And tuck your chin in, feeling length in your neck. And lengthen the spine. And downward facing dog, again, go ahead and bring those knees hip distance apart. You can tuck the toes under and come on into downward facing dog. Maybe the heels move a little closer to your mat, to the floor. This time, pressing those palms, nice long spine. If you'd like a little more opening in the hips, go ahead and lift that left leg. You can bend that knee and sink that right heel down. Engaging that right thigh. And just breathing into those hips. And opposite side. And bend that right knee, letting that left heel sink down. And tune into your breath. Relax your face. And basic dog, long spine, child's pose. Bring those big toes together and nice wide position with those knees, letting your hips sink down. Lengthen those arms, walk those fingers forward, and we're going to stretch our rotator cuff. So just below our shoulder. Go ahead and walk your hands over to the left side of your mat. Okay, I'm gonna start over. So from this position, we're gonna move into a stretch for our rotator cuff just below our shoulder. You can lift your head and just start to walk your hands to the outer side of your mat. And you can actually bring that left hand towards your knee and just start to walk your hand over as much as you can to feel that stretch. in just below your shoulder. You're also going to feel it in your low back and in your hips. Just breathing into that rotator cuff, those hips, and opposite side. And walk your hands to the opposite direction. The key is that you press your inner palm. If you collapse to that outside of your hand, you're not going to feel it as much. Just keep walking your hand over until you feel it. And breathing into that low spine, that rotator cuff as well. And coming back to center. And one last breath here in child's pose. You can relax your arms. And we're gonna lay on our back. I hope that you enjoyed this sequence, and I hope that it's leaving you feeling more relaxed. If you like this video, we have a lot more great content on our app. It's called Yoga Plus, and you should come check us out. And I look forward to seeing you next time.
Join us for 14 and 30-day programs, hour-long classes, and much more on our yoga app, Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth. It's free to download and features a variety of wellness content, including yoga, fitness, Pilates, guided meditations, and interviews with dozens of wellness experts.